Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome my friends and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Today we're changing it up again and I thought I'd present to you what I believe are probably the biggest fountain pens on this earth. And if there are bigger ones, I welcome any comments or any suggestions because I can tell you they'll be on my bucket list and I'll purchase them. I'm proposing to you 6 pens that I have that I believe are the biggest fountain pens, and we will take a look at them. I think without exception they are all made by Indian manufacturers. I enjoy them. They're a lot of fun, and I hope you'll enjoy them as well. So stay tuned. We'll go to my overhead camera and we'll take a closer look at them. Okay, we're back. And here are my 6 biggest fountain pens, and which I believe are probably the biggest fountain pens that exist. And if there are bigger ones, like I said, please leave me some comments, suggestions, and I will be the first one to, to sweep them up and purchase them. So let's take a look at them. This is my biggest one, and this is my Ranga Model 5. So this I believe is the biggest one. Then I have my Splendour, and it's just, you know, arguably probably equivalent, my Ranga Splendour Torpedo. Then I have my ACR Jumbo cigar shaped. I thought at one point that this was a Canwright, but I think it's a Canwright nib, but it's a Kim ACR Jumbo cigar, ebonite. Then next on my list here is this brown swirled, which I believe is a, just let me make sure I don't want to make a mistake on the name. Yeah, it's the Gama Supreme. So this is the Gama Supreme rippled, again, ebonite. Then I have my ASA Galactic flat top, because there are rounded tops as well. So that's the transparent one. And the smallest one of the gang, or maybe arguably, I think it's the Galactic that's smaller. But this matte black finished, this is the ASA Gama Hawk. So those are the 6, and let's take a look at each one of them, if you will. This is my favorite in terms of feel, but in terms of look, I think it's the Splendour. But the Ranga, and we will do a writing sample with this. The advantage of this one is that it has a plastic feed and a screw-in feed, so very easily changed up. You know, you can change them up. It's not an ebonite feed, and I'll explain that in a second, because ebonite feeds are nice, but they can be problematic as well. And this, of course, is an eyedropper. So I believe this is 7 inches, and I believe that this is probably the biggest fountain pen in the world. So there you go. Again, if I welcome any challenge of that statement, and I'd be very pleased if it isn't. Then the next one is my Ranga Splendour Torpedo. Beautiful resin. Take a look at that. It's really, really nice. I've got a specific and a detailed review, so please take a look at my channel and you'll find it. What I like about this is that it comes, or I bought it with a Bach size number 8 titanium nib. What a joy to write with. Flexible, sweet, and wet. Very, very nice. So that's my Ranga Splendour. I think it's a nice looking pen. The chatoyancy on this stringy spaghetti type resin is just gorgeous. So that's acrylic. This one is another ebonite. This is my ACR Kim. and it's got, I believe, it's got a Rosetta 1.5 nib. I changed it up, and there you go. That has a ebonite feed. Now the ebonite feed is nice because the flow is much better, but they are handmade because it's ebonite, so it's essentially hard rubber, and often you'll find that in the eyedropper it will leak. So Goulet pens has this wonderful video, and I'll put it in my description, or a YouTube tutorial on how to heat set these ebonite feeds so that they're nice and tight and that there is no leakage. I believe he looks at a noodler's pen, and it applies to essentially all ebonite feed type of nibs. And this is tight fit, so it's airtight. There's no screwing mechanism, and that's where the leakage can occur right around there. So and it's ebonite, nice rippled effect there. Now, this is my Supreme, and I think this is a gorgeous pen. Again, it's ebonite, really, really huge. Don't talk about posting here, because if you post, they're just exaggerated. This one has the ASA medium nib. Again, it's got an ebonite feed, so that needs to be heat set if you don't want any leakage. And that's really the only disadvantage with these pens. Otherwise, the ink capacity in here is tremendous. Okay. So, and by the way, they're all eyedroppers except for my Ranga Splendour Torpedo. This one is either a converter or an eyedropper. Then we have my ASA Galactic. Very, very nice. Again, it's got a noodler's nib, by the way. On that, again, you see it has an ebonite feed, and it needs to be heat set. This is one of the reasons why I'm not going to do a writing sample of each of the pens, because I have not had a chance to heat set all the ebonite feeds, and I didn't want them to leak all over the place, in all fairness to the pens. But that is one of the disadvantages of an ebonite feed. But there are a lot of advantages. This is my ASA, or my ASA Gama Hawk. They also have a smaller version, but this is the big version, and it's got a can-write nib. This one here, again with an ebonite feed. Very, very nice, very comfortable. So those are the pens. So what I propose is that I'll be right back, and we'll do one writing sample just to see how it looks when you write with a huge pen like that. And I can assure you it's very comfortable. And I will use my my Ranga Model 5 for the writing sample. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back for the writing sample. First of all, let me just begin with the paper and the journal. I'm going to be using this roll band notebook. And you might say, what? Roll band? Yeah, roll band, they make just fabulous notebooks. They're really fountain pen friendly. They don't feather. Excellent paper. So that's the notebook I'll be using. In terms of the ink today, I'm going to be using this writer's blood from Diamine, a very nice reddish Shiraz sort of a color, very deep wine colored. So that's my Diamine, and you can't go wrong with Diamine. So let's open up the journal to the writing page. And now, first thing to note about this notebook is that it's not my habit. I usually like white papered. I don't even like beige. I like just pure white. But this roll band came in this color, and I find the paper just fabulous. So I would recommend it. I really would recommend it. It just the ink flows very nicely on this paper, and no complaints whatsoever. So check it out, and they're good. I think most of the time they're well priced. Check it out, and if you want to try a new paper, well, there you go. That's one of them. So let's do this. First of all, this is my Ranga Model 5 mustard ebonite. It has a Opus 88 1.5 Jowo stub. The ink is Diamine Writer's Blood. Now, in terms of the writing experience, the pen is extremely comfortable. And for somebody like me who has, I think I've expressed this already, I have a slight hand tremor, and I know one of my subscribers was worried that perhaps I had Parkinson's. I can assure you I don't, but thank you very much for your concern. It's a hand tremor that I've had diagnosed, and I've had it for, oh my God, decades now. So with my hand tremor, I write much better with a bigger pen. I seem to have more control over it. So it's difficult for me to say whether or not that's a general statement that I should make, but try it out. And some of you might believe it's too big, but I can assure you that this pen is extremely, extremely comfortable, at least in my hands. Extremely comfortable. The writing experience is A++++. Just, in my opinion, very, very, very nice. By the way, isn't that ink really nice? I think it is. And, the nib, this Opus 88 is well tuned and really, really nice. It gives me that, line variation that I enjoy with stubs. So in terms of a ranking, let's look at this. In terms of the pen, I give this pen a 9.8, just because of the comfort. The nib is not most Ranga pens, you have a choice of nibs. This is just a Jowo nib, but the nib, this Opus 88 nib is a 9.8, very well tuned. And I think it came out of the box that way. I just switched it from one of my Opus 88 demonstrators to this Ranga Model 5. In terms of design, well, it's a fairly simple design, as you can see. It's just a torpedo shape. There is no. I chose to buy it without a clip, just because I wanted that smooth, finish. So the design is nothing, nothing extravagant, but it's still very nice. I would give it a 9.6. In terms of build quality, all Ranga pens, ebonites, they're not Wencher, they're not, the Japanese ebonite pens where, the ebonite is so much better quality. I've seen Leonardo had some ebonite pens. So it's quite simple, but in terms of build quality, I would give this pen a 9.7. Value, here's where Ranga pens just blow everybody out of the market. I'm going to give them a 9.8. Very good value. I believe with this nib or with a Jumbo nib or Bach nib, I think if you buy it with a nib, it runs maybe around $80-$90, and without one, I think it's like $70-$80. So I think this Model 5 is an excellent buy. So I chose to do my writing sample with obviously the biggest pen of them all, and what I believe is probably the biggest pen in the world. So I hope you enjoy that. It changes things up. Biggest pens in the world. It's fountain pen therapy, just giant fountain pen therapy. Have a great day and be well.